News 6 at 10 p.m.
Wait a minute. You cannot come into my home.
I don't want to take you. For what? Get back. Just get back. You're being detained for shoplifting Oviedo. I don't want to talk to you out here. You're going to get paid.
Now on News 6, deputies forced their way into a couple's home, take down a veteran over 4 bags of stolen shrimp. Then it turns out they had the wrong guy, the discipline they now face.
Also, we're tracking something new in the tropics not far from Florida. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas breaks down how it could add to some unsettled weather.
And how did a man lose his life after riding a roller coaster on Epic Universe? A new report from medics sheds new light on the crucial moments and minutes right after that ride stopped. Many are asking, how is this death being investigated and who makes sure those rides are safe? Well, News 6 is digging into why the rules are different for Disney, SeaWorld, Universal, and Legoland.
But we start now at 10 tonight with a passionate crowd making their voices heard.
Let us remember, America's strength has always come together at its diversity.
We expect leaders that reflects the value of all the people it serves.
I urge this council to pursue his removal by every legal means necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have 1 second, Bob.
A passionate crowd fired up over comments from a city councilman's social media post saying things like, "There's not a single Indian that cares about the United States. They are here to exploit us financially," end quote. I'm Ginger Gadsden. Thanks for joining us.
I'm Matt Austin. That Palm Bay City Council meeting started at 6 o'clock. And as you can see behind us, it is still going on. News 6's Troy Campbell is live just outside the meeting tonight.
So, Troy, a packed crowd of people signed up to speak about this councilman.
Yeah, Matt and Ginger, get this. Almost 80 people from the public signed up, 76 people to be exact, signed up to express their concerns and their frustration to the board, many of them being of Indian descent. And as we said, that controversy stemming around from social media posts that were posted by Councilman Chandler Langevin, where he stated that Indians didn't care about America. Now, in response, another councilman introduced a motion to instruct the city attorney to write a letter to Governor Ron DeSantis seeking his removal. Then on Tuesday, I was here as there was a town hall style meeting took place inside council chambers where members of the Indian community expressed their outrage by the comments. The following day, Langevin, he ended up doubling down on his comments, and he further specified his comments were referring to HB1 visa recipients. Indian business owners here tonight defended their contribution to the community through taxes and providing jobs for others, many saying the councilman's comments aren't reflective of the community. Take a listen.
I stand before you today not just as a concerned citizen, but as a voice for dignity, unity, and truth. The recent comments made by Councilman Chandler, calling for the deportation of Indian Americans and claiming they exploit our country, and not only deeply offensive, they are factually wrong and morally dangerous.
We are your neighbors who invest our life savings here. We fund local payrolls. Our businesses, whether in tech, medical services, or retail, create jobs, spend money locally. When the reputation of the community is attacked for racial malice, that immediately creates uncertainty for both employees and our ability to attract new talent and customers.
And not everyone from the public made it into the meeting. There was a big crowd outside as an overflow area outside of the chambers. So what's next is ultimately after they hear from the public comment, and we hear that they're on around speaker 60 out of 76. And then once they go from there, the board is set to make a motion to vote whether they're going to instruct the city attorney to draft a letter to Governor Ron DeSantis urging that they suspend the councilman. So, of course, we'll continue to keep you updated. Live in Palm Bay, Troy Campbell, News 6, back to you.
I hope you packed an overnight bag. Troy, thank you. Well, tonight we are tracking something new in the tropics. There is a new wave at a time we are already expecting some unsettled and rainy weather.
That's right. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas is here. Jonathan, there's even a flood watch for part of our area.
Yeah, and the two are kind of related in the sense that we might get something to be born out out of the thing that's bringing us the unsettled weather. So you see that yellow little blob over Florida. That's drawn by the National Hurricane Center. And what we have going on here, we don't really have anything to track at this point. We have the winds coming out of the south across parts of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos, out of the north and east, just to the north of the Bahamas. Right around that convergent line, we could get some thunderstorms to develop out there as we get to the second half of the weekend. That could end up turning into something tropical. It is an unlikely opportunity for that to happen, but it's a low chance and it's a non-zero chance. And that's why the Hurricane Center highlighted it. What we are going to be watching over the next couple of days and through the weekend is because of that northeasterly breeze, a stiff breeze, off of the Atlantic, we're going to generate downpours, and the focal point for those downpours are really going to be along the coast, closer to I-95. It's going to be a very similar day to what we saw today, really for the next couple of days. So we're not exempt from the rainfall towards I-75. It's just the focal point for the heaviest rain going to be along I-95 over the next few days. And just like last night at this time, we see the next batch of rain developing. We're going to track that for you. Some of us might get an early wake-up call again tomorrow. We'll break that down coming up at about 10:19.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, reprimanded and retrained. That's the punishment tonight for some Seminole County deputies.
You guys can't tell me why the hell you guys are here at night? I don't even know why the hell you guys are here.
They're in some hot water after taking down and cuffing a military veteran in his own home in a case of mistaken identity. Tonight, we're seeing body cam video showing how the search for stolen shrimp from a supermarket ended with that vet in the hospital. It happened in Oviedo back in June. Body cam footage shows the entire family came to the door. Seminole County blurred the deputies involved. We've also decided to blur the family because they didn't do anything wrong. The son ended up being cuffed inside the home near the front door and having to be taken out on a stretcher. Just as Seminole Fire was about to take him to the hospital, deputies learned they handcuffed the wrong person. The Seminole County Sheriff's Office says the deputies were reprimanded and they received remedial training on state and federal laws regarding detaining people for investigation and entering private homes. Community correspondent Jarrell Baker is in the neighborhood tonight. We will have his report coming up at 11 o'clock.
Developing now at 10, more than 2 weeks since a guest died after riding the Stardust Racers roller coaster at Epic Universe, we are learning more about the moments first responders got to Kevin Rodriguez Zavala. News 6 investigator Louis Bolden says a report from Orange Fire Rescue shows the man was still on the ride when their first crew got to the scene just 6 minutes after the call.
According to the report, Orange County Fire Rescue got a call from EMS just after 9 p.m. on September 17th. Orange County Fire sent 3 units. When the first unit arrived at Stardust Racers, they saw 2 Universal paramedics were holding the patient up in one of the seats of the ride, with a restraint bar on the patient and an AED attached to him. We don't know if his restraint bar had been raised and lowered again before the fire department got there, or if other people were still on the ride. It's not clear how long Universal paramedics had already been with him, but one paramedic did tell Orange County Fire Rescue the man had no pulse. According to the report, the restraint bar was lifted off the patient. The patient was placed on a backboard and stretcher as CPR was performed. The patient was then taken down the elevator to the ground floor and transported to the hospital in an OCFR rescue unit.
Now, according to the report, Orange County Fire cleared the scene 43 minutes after the call.
Since his death, the family of Kevin Rodriguez Zavala has demanded answers about what happened. If his death had happened at a small amusement park, the state of Florida would be responsible for getting those answers.
But as our team coverage moves to News 6 investigator Mike DeForest, he explains how Universal and other large theme parks are exempt from state oversight.
Just calm down, just don't move. In 2018, this Daytona Beach roller coaster derailed, injuring 6 passengers. Within hours, state amusement ride inspectors were on scene trying to figure out what happened. Engineers later prepared this detailed report, which was released to the public, that concluded the coaster derailment was caused by excessive speed. 4 years later, state ride inspectors descended on International Drive after Tyree Sampson slipped out of his seat on the Orlando Freefall and plunged to his death. Engineers hired by the state later produced this public report that concluded the safety harness had been improperly modified. In both incidents, which occurred at small amusement parks, Florida's Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services was responsible for inspecting the rides and investigating mishaps.
We have to know what happened.
Attorneys representing the family of Kevin Zavala are demanding answers about why the 32-year-old died from multiple blunt impact injuries after riding Universal's Stardust Racers roller coaster. But it's unclear what information, if any, the state of Florida will uncover. Unlike small amusement parks, rides at Universal, Disney, SeaWorld, and Legoland are exempt from state inspections. Under Florida law, permanent facilities that employ at least 1,000 people and have full-time in-house safety inspectors are not subject to state oversight. Those large theme parks are only required to notify the state about serious injuries and fatalities.
You know, this monorail is exempt. They exempted the monorail from any safety standards or inspections.
2 years ago, while Governor Ron DeSantis was waging a political battle with Disney, he held this news conference. State Agriculture Commissioner Wilton Simpson, whose agency regulates amusement rides, suggested large theme parks should no longer be exempt.
Where a person is injured should not determine how the state responds. Everyone should have to play by the same rules.
That same week, State Representative Lawrence McClure filed legislation that would have given the state more oversight of large theme parks like Universal. But it was withdrawn days later, records show, and never refiled. Instead, lawmakers passed a separate bill that only regulated Walt Disney World's monorail system. On the day after Kevin Zavala's death, Florida's Agriculture Commissioner announced that one of his investigators was here at Epic Universe. But there is no indication that state investigator is actually investigating anything. Instead, the commissioner's office tells me Universal voluntarily invited the agency here merely to observe. Reporting at Epic Universe, Mike DeForest, News 6.
New at 10 tonight, Volusia Sheriff is vowing to get tough on drugs.
And we are seeing his team in action. Why they ended up raiding the same home twice in less than a month, and the sheriff's message for drug dealers.
As the government shutdown nears day 3, I'm speaking with 2 of your representatives on Capitol Hill about why both sides appear to be in an impasse.
And imagine sailing away, then getting sick at sea. That's what happened to nearly 100 passengers aboard a cruise, including an Orlando man. You're going to hear from him in just minutes.
You're watching News 6 at 10. We are live on a Thursday night. We're covering Lake Nona, Leesburg, and all of Central Florida. New at 10 tonight, we are seeing the Volusia Sheriff's Narcotics Task Force and SWAT team in action.
Yeah, for the second time in a month, they have carried out drug raids at the same house. On social media, Sheriff Mike Chitwood says he is fed up.
These are frequent flyers. These scumbags are out there destroying lives. And this morning, we're going to do our best to make sure that they spend a significant portion of the rest of their miserable lives in jail.
Before dawn, they are at the home on Oak Lake in Edgewater. 4 people were arrested on drug charges. That includes 2 who were also arrested at the same house on September 3rd.
This is our second time back here in 31 days for an overdose or an overdose death.
I'm going to tell you, I'm coming after you with everything I got, okay? I'm going to come after this property through the legal process, and we're going to come back here every month.
We will continue to come back here on a monthly basis. We're going after this property with everything we can through code enforcement and through the legal process to make sure that this den of iniquity does not sell this poison and destroy another life.
Now, when the SWAT team goes into harm's way, the sheriff likes to be there in person. Back in June, I got to ride along with Chitwood as they carried out an arrest warrant. This also happened in Edgewater. You can see my in-depth report from the day I spent shadowing the sheriff. Just search Chitwood on clickorlando.com.
Well, tonight we are nearing day 3 of the federal government shutdown. Capitol Hill is all but deserted today in observance for the Jewish holiday Yom Kippur.
Yeah, and senators will vote once again tomorrow on a short-term spending bill to fund the government through mid-November.
So today I spoke with 2 Central Florida congressmen in D.C. right now, one Democrat, one Republican, about the negotiations. Democrats in the Senate are refusing to agree on a stopgap bill right now. The question is, can we reach a compromise?
I think a lot of people are looking at this situation and wondering, how far are Democrats willing to take this? How long are you willing to go? Have you thought about that?
Absolutely. And each day we'll be here ready to negotiate to resolve this. So until the Yom Kippur holiday today, we had both Senate Republicans, Senate Democrats, and House Democrats up here. But House Republicans left a week and a half ago and haven't been here since. There hasn't been any votes in the House in well over a week. And so we need folks to come together in good faith, like we did when we were in charge.
In hindsight, looking at this situation, should Republicans have tried to get some more buy-in from Democrats before leaving on vacation?
Well, let's be clear here. We didn't leave on vacation. We voted last week, and we're waiting on the Senate to say yes or no to this. If they work out some type of compromise, then of course they would send it back to us and we would vote on it. But there is no vacation here. I'm actually in Washington as part of the negotiations, meaning we're here willing to work. But that said, the House has done their job. We passed this bill to keep the government open.
Well, we're learning that nearly 100 people on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship fell ill from the norovirus.
The CDC says this is the 19th illness outbreak on a cruise ship this year. By the time the ship docked in Miami early this morning, more than 90 passengers and 4 crew members reported symptoms of norovirus. Royal Caribbean's Serenade of the Seas had been on a 13-day voyage through Central America and the Caribbean. It departed from San Diego on September 19th. A man from Orlando was one of those who got sick.
Like 70 people. I figured there were more because I talked to a lot of friends, and a lot of them were sick as well, and none of them reported it, because if you report it, they quarantine you and you end up in your stateroom. So half the people probably didn't report it.
Oof. So doctors say if you are aware that people are not well on a cruise, avoid the buffet and, of course, keep your hands clean. Those are just obvious things. There's no specific treatment for norovirus. If you get sick, it's just about treating the symptoms and keeping yourself hydrated and, again, away from other people.
Let me tell you something. My family, the Austins, we had norovirus on a cruise ship before.
Oh, man.
We have not been on a cruise since then and might not go for the rest of our lives. That is
that good, huh?
Miserable virus. Lovely cruise, but all we saw was the stateroom pretty much. Jonathan Kagas, our meteorologist, joining us tonight. And there are some flood possible issues on the horizon?
Yeah, I was going to say, if they went down when the Imelda was close to that area, I was going to say, was it the norovirus or was it the 10 to 12 foot waves that they were going through? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm sure you can tell the difference for sure. Scattered downpours pushing back onto the Flagler and Volusia coastline, pushing through Benel tonight, also around New Smyrna Beach, Edgewater. This is almost the exact same scenario we had last night. We talked about this last night, that it would kind of be rinse, wash, and repeat all the way through Sunday, maybe even Monday, as we stay in this pattern with the stiff breeze coming in off the Atlantic. You can track all these downpours tomorrow. Some of us will have that early wake-up call again as we continue to watch these come in off the Atlantic. So there we go, 11 o'clock tonight. I think Future Radar doing a pretty nice job. Here we go at 6 a.m. tomorrow with a few more downpours to meet you already as you start your day. 11 o'clock in the morning, again, we'll likely see some more downpours pushing through. I don't think there's a ton of lightning in these at all. There's 5 o'clock on your Friday afternoon into the evening. Still doing a little bit of dodging out there. Excuse me, temperatures again going to get back into the 80s.
Okay, yeah. All right, so he's going to get a drink of water and catch his breath,
Check
and
back
we'll
in
get
with
you
him
the
in a
rest of
little
the
bit.
forecast. Yeah.
All right, well, more than 100 homes in Maitland lost power this morning.
They say it happens all the time, even during light rain. Next, News 6's Alex Cook is trying to get answers about why this keeps happening.
I'm on Gillis Court in Maitland where the power went out for hours Thursday morning. The people that live here say it happens all the time, and they contacted News 6 because they're tired of being left in the dark.
I was just washing dishes, and as soon as the transformer went boom, I started feeling dizzy.
Sherry McGill is used to the power going out in her home on Gillis Court, but today she says she was shocked, literally, when the familiar pop of the transformer came with a jolt of electricity.
The power went off and it came through and it hit me and I was dizzy as a result of that. So that kind of freaked me out.
Around the corner, Catherine Perot was home taking care of her young children when she heard the pop too.
I thought it was like lightning, to be completely honest. And I was like, okay. But it was weird because the rain wasn't that strong and there was like no other lightning. It was like a one pop.
These neighbors say it happens all the time. A neighbor showed me this text alert from Duke Energy saying the power was out at 10 a.m. this morning. And one from August 20th, and August 13th, and August 5th, and July 11th. Perot worries about her kids.
I have a 2-month-old, and so when the power went out, like this summer, for instance, lots of worries about like them overheating in the middle of the night, you know, food, and especially for the baby, like breast milk being thawing in our freezer.
Duke Energy's outage map showed 122 homes without power this morning. In a statement to News 6, they acknowledged the area has had multiple outages the last few months and say in part, "We apologize for any inconvenience those outages may have caused. We conduct regular vegetation trimming to help reduce outages, and we'll send crews to patrol for additional areas that need attention."
We understand it's going to go off if you're getting a hurricane or a limb falls on it or something like that, you would expect it. But when it's just like medium to light rain, there's no, lightning or anything happening like that. Like today, I was shocked that it went off.
In Maitland, Alex Cook, News 6.
All right, we're going to try this again, guys. The rainfall over the next few days really going to focus along the I-95 corridor. Certainly still going to get some rain across I-75, but the heaviest stuff is going to focus right along I-95 and the Atlantic beaches. Again, over the next 3 days, you see here the legend where you see the red color really through a lot of Flagler, Volusia, into Brevard, upwards of 5 inches or more of rain going to be possible. It's not all at once. It's going to be sporadic over the next few days, and you see it gets a little bit lighter the further inland you go. Here's that disturbance or potential disturbance that is highlighted by the Hurricane Center. Right now, there's nothing out there to track. There's a cluster of thunderstorms north of the Bahamas and Turks and Caicos. But notice here, if you look at the wind direction coming in and it kind of kinks back down towards the Turks and Caicos, it's within that kind of wind shift that we'd be watching for any kind of potential development there. It's kind of on the southern side of that northeasterly breeze that is helping to deliver the unsettled stretch over the next couple of days. So just a 10% chance for development. Again, watching closely, but even if it were to develop, it would just enhance the rainfall, which of course we don't want, but it should not be anything significant in terms of development. 84 in Orlando tomorrow, 86 degrees in Bushnell. The wind is going to be howling again across parts of Central Florida, especially right along the beaches. The wind gusts tomorrow back up to around 30 miles an hour. That was for New Smyrna Beach. Again, keeping things unsettled, guys. Over the next couple of days, rain chances back up to 60 to 70% over the weekend.
All right, thank you, Jonathan. And thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here again tonight at 11 o'clock.
Have a great one. Bye.